Joining us now, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. 49 days left. I don't think she's ever going to have to answer for the Green New Deal that she co-sponsored, or eliminating private health insurance and government health care for all, or defund, dismantle the police and ICE, or, free health care, college education, and sex change operations for illegals, and higher energy prices of the cost of democracy or our foreign policy. I think she gets a pass on all of it for the rest of the way. Early voting started in your home state of Pennsylvania.
She may be able to get away with it in the sense of the news media, but the American people aren't stupid. In recent interviews, for example, with undecided voters, overwhelmingly, they believe she's much more radical than Donald Trump. They believe that her programs, and they identify her with Biden and the Biden administration. So overwhelmingly, they think that she is the candidate of the past and Trump is a candidate of change. By about 3.5 to 1, Americans want change in current policies, not continuity. By being so, and part of this may be psychological. I mean, she may not be capable of uttering a clear, coherent policy position. But whatever the reason, the more we get these word salads, the more obvious it is that she either doesn't know what she's saying, or she can't articulate it, or she's trying to hide. These things all hurt her. This interview today did not help her at all. The interview in Philadelphia on the local TV station became a joke. I mean, people thought it was absurd. The thing you did earlier, I mean, if you just watch her, it's the same stuff over and over. The things she's memorized has nothing to do with the real world. And I particularly want to point out, at one point in this interview, she talks about we have to get to a truce in Gaza and release the hostages. Now, there are two problems. The first is she is the vice president. They've had 11 months to get to this truce. 11 months. They've gotten nowhere. There's no reason to believe she'd get anywhere if she was president. Why? Because the founding constitution of Hamas says not a single Jew will remain. And when people chant from the river to the sea, they're chanting genocide, fully as much as the Nazi Germans were about Jews in Europe. And these college students need to understand it. That's a genocidal quote that Hamas means to either massacre or evict every single Jew in Israel. So her fantasy that somehow she's going to sit down with Hamas, talk reasonably with them, get them to agree to something plausible. This is insanity. This is totally out of touch with the real world.
What do you advise the Trump campaign, now that early voting started in Pennsylvania, will roll out now in swing state after swing state, and 49 days till Election Day? What is your advice? You're one of the smartest political minds I know in the country.
Well, let me start with the interview you just had with the president, who, as you know, Clifton and I both feel very close to and are very worried about. First thing is, I want to know tomorrow morning, there's over 7,000 Secret Service agents in the United States. How many additional are being transferred tomorrow to protect Trump? Second, are they going to have a drone with infrared coverage? This idea that they're telling him now maybe you won't be able to golf. Nonsense. The Secret Service has an obligation to bring in enough technology and enough people that the potential president of the United States is safe. He's safe from the Iranians. He's safe from people who are crazy. He's safe from somebody from Hamas. And that's the duty of the Secret Service, not to restrict the president, but to restrict the assassins. So I have to get that out of the way. Second, this is very simple. You know it. We have talked about it for years. Every time President Trump is focused, disciplined, and stays on the issues, he is gaining ground. Every time he goes off on some comment that hasn't been thought through, he gives the news media an excuse to cover nothing that matters and to just beat him up. So I would say, to the degree he can spend the next 5 or 6 weeks being disciplined, focused, and policy-oriented, he will dramatically enhance the size of his majority. He's going to win anyway, because she's going to lose, but he'll win bigger if he's disciplined and focused.
All right, Speaker Gingrich, appreciate it. You being with us.